Hello and welcome to the Adventures of Russell the Canberra series. In this episode we'll be looking at my earliest episodes from 2017. Enjoy! The Australian War Memorial was built as a museum, a shrine, and also an extensive archive to make sure that we do not forget Australia's influence on wars around the world. Charles Bean was the official World War I historian and conceived the idea for the Australian War Memorial back in 1916 on the battlefields of France. The Australian War Memorial is known for its extensive museum. In the west wing of the memorial is the World War I exhibit, and in the east wing is the World War II exhibit. Other exhibits include Anzac Hall, featuring G for George and World War I aircraft, the Aircraft Hall, exhibiting planes used by all sides during World War II, the Discovery Zone, an interactive exhibit for kids to explore and learn about Australia's involvement in war. Conflicts 1945 to today features Australia's involvement in global conflicts since World War II, and Afghanistan, the Australian story. The original design of the Australian War Memorial was a joint design between two architects known as Emil Siddiston and John Crust. The design had to be reduced in scope due to the Depression. At the heart of the War Memorial is the Hall of Memory. The only way to access it is to walk past the Roll of Honour. In the centre is the tomb of the unknown soldier, who was reinterred in 1993. The dome and walls are covered in a mosaic in dedication to those who fought in World War II. The mosaic is made up of 6 million tiles and was designed by Napier Waller, who lost his right arm in World War I. In the heart of the War Memorial is the Hall of Valour, which exhibits 76 of the 100 Victoria Cross medals ever awarded to serving Australians. If you'd like to visit the Australian War Memorial, it is open every day of the year except Christmas Day between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Thank you so much for watching the Canberra series. Please like this video and share it. And if you want to see more of the Canberra series, please hit the subscribe button. For 61 years, from 1927 to 1988, the Provisional Parliament House was home to the Australian Federal Government. Designed by the first Commonwealth architect, John Smith Murdoch, it was built to last 50 years and hold a few hundred people, and it followed a simplified classical look. By the 1980s, only the Prime Minister, the Speaker of the House of Reps, and the President of the Senate had their own offices. The Provisional Parliament House was opened by the Duke of York, Queen Elizabeth's father, on the 9th of May 1927. A local locksmith spent an hour greasing the lock to ensure that the nervous royal wouldn't accidentally break the key if the lock jammed. The cost of the buildings and the furnishings reached £600,000, which was 3 times over the original estimates. Materials were sourced from all over Australia, with wood from every state and bricks being made at the Yarralumla Brickworks, and that were transported over by light rail. Extensions were added to the rear in 1947 for more office space, while extensions were added to the front of the building in the 60s and 70s that followed the same style as John Smith Murdoch, but the internal followed the styles of the day. In May 2008, the Old Parliament House became the Museum of Australian Democracy at Old Parliament House. It acts as a living museum of social and political history, with most parts of the building open to the public. There is plenty to explore at Old Parliament House, with the House of Representatives and the Senate chambers both open, with other exhibits throughout the building, such as the Magna Carta and the Designing a Democracy exhibitions, Australian Prime Ministers, Living Democracy, the Press Gallery, and Play Up for the Kids. The Museum of Australian Democracy at Old Parliament House is open every day except Christmas Day between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Entry is $1 for children, free for children under 5, $2 for adults, and $5 for families. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Canberra series. If you'd like to see more, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and feel free to share. Telstra Tower was built to replace inefficient TV and radio towers, with development starting in 1970. It was officially opened on the 15th of May 1980 by the then Prime Minister Malcolm Fraser. Although many of us couldn't imagine Canberra without its iconic tower upon its skyline, some Canberrans were actually opposed to its construction. Objections around potential aesthetic and environmental impacts led to a High Court case that spanned over 2 years. The case was argued on the grounds that the federal government didn't have the constitutional power to construct the tower. The Commonwealth Department of Housing and Construction was charged with the design of the tower, but at the time, the National Capital Development Commission was the only ones who had the power to plan anything in the ACT. Thankfully though, the High Court ruled in favour with the federal government and construction continued uninterrupted. The tower was named Telecom Tower, but after the rebrand in 1993, it is now known as Telstra Tower. Standing at just over 195 metres tall, Telstra Tower sits upon the top of Black Mountain and offers beautiful views of the city and surrounding landscape. Telstra Tower has also been recognised by the World Federation of Great Towers. It stands alongside other great towers such as Blackpool Tower in England and the Empire State Building in New York. Telstra Tower is open between 9 AM and 10 PM every day, including Christmas Day and Good Friday. Entry is $7.50 for adults, $3 for pensioners, $3 for children between 4 and 16 years, free if you're under 4, and family passes of 2 adults and 2 children are $17. Thank you so much for watching. This has been The Adventures of Russell, the Canberra series on Telstra Tower. If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment and share. And if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button.